Alright, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakorash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Wa Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity under the video through the Spirit. Your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. This one right here, Modern Day Madness and Prophecies, just a mix-up of different, clips. All kinds of shit going on, right? We know that National Guard stuff's increasing. You just had that redhead tranny, shoot some people up. Here it is. They love to talk about these crime rates and black fatigue. But how come y'all don't talk about the white male public serial killer fatigue? Then white boys be shooting everybody and their mama up when they have a bad day. All right, all kinds of stuff going on, but I want to start with a couple of clips. We've never had a fair shake in America, and every time we tried to get established, who came running up? Who came running up to destroy what we had going? Esau, Edom, and the so-called white man. So let's let the old folks speak and drop the beans. Let me see. Do I still got that other clip? Yeah, let me double check. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab it's early morning, so it'll take a minute to get the speed processor rolling, man. Waking up like a slave every morning. Yeah, okay, give me 1 second. Cool, right here.
Why did they burn everything?
They was mad.
But you were just little children.
I know it. What did they care? They didn't care. They killed us. I was about 8 years old.
Minnie Lee Langley was only a child when she became a refugee. Now, she's a great-grandmother. At her home in Jacksonville, Florida, we talked to her about the place where she was born, Rosewood, Florida, the place that haunts her memory.
I know they killed my aunt, and they killed my granddaddy. Made my granddaddy dug his hole. He didn't have but one arm, but they made him dug his own grave. And he prayed, and they shot him backwards in the grave.
At Rosewood.
At Rosewood.
This is where it all began, in the white settlement of Sumner, just a few miles from Rosewood. Sumner disappeared in the late 1920s when a fire destroyed the sawmill. But back in 1923, Sumner was a booming little company town. James and Fannie Taylor had a home not far from here. On the morning of January 1st, 1923, James Taylor was already at work at the sawmill when neighbors said they heard.
History has never just been about what
So, the famous
has
story
been clipped down.
Yeah, the famous story of Rosewood, y'all, which there's a movie about, right? You got movies like Rosewood, Mississippi Burning. I'm not sure if there's a movie on the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, which I got a video. I got another video. But here it is, when we had prospering cities and towns, what did they do? Come and destroy it, y'all. They made a one-armed man dig his own grave and then killed him and tossed him in it. We've never had a fair shake and an equal share in this country, and we're never going to. We're not looking for that. We're just keeping it real. This is not your rest, Jacob. So right now you got all these political things going on, and you have many a niggas still trusting in the shadow of Egypt, and it's never been for your benefit. Play this one.
Like I said, we couldn't eat at the restaurant downtown. That's why my daddy put my mama in a restaurant, a black restaurant. And the thing about it is, sweetheart, we own so many more things then than we do now. We didn't. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? Yeah. See, the man is right down the street there, Streets Hotel. Man on the Streets Hotel was black. Man had the restaurant, Streets Hotel was black. The man at the barbershop was black. The man at the bar was black. You understand? They owned own these things. We own so many things that we don't own anymore. Washington, D.C. Howard Theater, Howard University. This was ours. What are you talking about? New York City, I knew Harlem, baby.
History has never just
So another one, right? Another testimony. And that's why, see, that's what the internet is for, finding out the truth. But another testimony from one of those survivors. You know, by now he's a grandfather and great-grandfather, but he was a child when this incident occurred. And it's the same story. We build up and then they destroy. So you're not going to get advanced here. You're not going to progress here. This is not our kingdom. God damn it. Every step you take is another step. They're going to knock you backwards. Another one more, y'all.
Told you that what if I told you that one of the busiest airports in America was built on top of a thriving black community that was wiped off the map? I'm Dr. Michael H. Ford, and this is a story you need to hear. I'm here at Dulles International Airport, located in Dulles, Virginia, standing in a place that connects people across the world. But hidden beneath the roar of jets at Dulles lies the memory of Willard, an all-black town that blossomed after the Civil War. Built by the descendants of formerly enslaved people, Willard became a self-sufficient community. Families with names like Coram, Bailey, Johnson, Holmes, Newman, Robinson, Smith, and Thomas farmed the land, raised livestock, and worked as laborers and domestic workers. By the early 1900s, Willard had homes, farms, a store, a post office, churches, and schools. Shiloh Primitive Baptist Church was built around 1899, and the Willard Colored School educated children until it was consolidated in 1948. It was more than a town, it was proof of resilience. In 1958, the federal government decided Willard would become the site of a new airport. Without public hearings, eminent domain was enforced. Landowners were forced to sell, on average, for just $500 an acre. In total, 87 landowners received condemnation letters. More than 300 structures were destroyed, including Shiloh Church, which was relocated along with its graveyard. For Willard, this wasn't just the loss of land, it was the loss of health. Families were uprooted from farmland that fed them, homes that sheltered them, and the bonds of a community that protected well-being. Studies showed that displacement and land loss strip away food security, stability, and generational wealth, all cornerstones of public health. What was erased in Willard wasn't just property, it was a foundation for healthier lives across generations. Today, millions of travelers pass through Dulles unaware of the black community buried beneath its runways. Remembering Willard means asking, who pays the price for progress? And how?
We do. We pay the price off our backs, per usual. And that happened in LAX as well, Los Angeles. That ain't the only place for them to build an airport there to wipe out so-called Jake cities, right? Or black cities, so-called. And then, you know, they've done the same thing to Northern Kingdom, Gad and Reuben, Issachar, Ephraim, all that. Wipe out what we have to establish themselves. This is the usual. Right here, out of the famous book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 33, it says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed all way. All right, this is our constant position in these captivities. We find ourselves being oppressed and crushed, put down, right? Belittled, demeaned, stripped of power, stripped of autonomy, no matter what level we get to. Why? Because this is not your rest. We're not going to be allowed to build up something great here for so-called black people. They don't, you know, they talk all this shit. Why can't we get things right? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Education, blah, blah, blah. Well, when we do come together and put our, and act right, like we got some sense, they literally come and destroy what we have. So that goes to show you, y'all, that this place is a lie. Matter of fact, Jeremiah, you will never be at peace here. They don't want that. It's an illusion. Jeremiah 6:14. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. And they show you that every step. When you try to do something, when you try to get established, when you try to gain a foothold in this country, what happens? It gets thrown out. Even dealing with Dr. Umar Johnson, right? You know, whether or not, you know, he's a scam or not. The goal is noble, ain't it? To build a school, to teach these little young nigga babies But where's that school at? It ain't nowhere to be found. Why? Because that's not the prophecy. We're not going to build up and become great in captivity. We will constantly always be beat down and put back into an inferior position, because the heathen do not want us to rise up on any level. They can't prosper if we're prospering. Somebody has to be oppressed. Can't have two people ruling. So going back, hey, and we sticking to the topic right here.
When our people came over here on the ships, any slave who was just more rebellious than the others, they might be used as an example. And so they might beat that slave every day, 2 or 3 days, and make the other slaves, when they came up above deck for air and water, to watch them, to see this beating in order to strike terror in their hearts, to put fear in them. And then when that slave finally died, they would cut the head off of the slave, perhaps put it on a stick or a barrel, and then make all of the other slaves march past it and kiss
Well, what does that
head.
have to do with burial, though? Because the burial rites trace back all the way to Africa.
Well, I'm dealing with the
And
funeral. Let me say funeral
Okay,
instead
but
of
the
burial.
funeral
Okay, I'll deal with
procession
funeral.
dates all the... And
Not the funeral procession that we do here in America. That came from slavery.
You see, she tried to cut her off. No, let's talk about it. Let her cook. God damn it, Shahrazad Ali. She been getting on. Boy, oh boy, man. All this talking shit finna end. It's just finna be judgment soon. People been talking about all the wickedness. Come on, man.
Where we walk past the casket in single file, even if the casket is closed, we march past it.
And you're
Many
saying that
people
if
still kiss,
but
bend
you're
over,
saying
and that's
if
what
we
were
walk
forced to
past
do.
the casket in single file to look at a person who is dead, we're a slave?
Well, it came from a process that started on the ship. Yes, I am saying that. It came from being on the ship. The slave master understood the impact and the effect of trauma, which is why if they beat a man or burned him or hung him, they would make all of the other slaves come out and watch it. They would even put the little baby on the ground below the man hanging, because they knew if they could make a genetic impact of terror on the brain of that black person, that we would carry that into the future.
Right. So what we have to do today is understand that we have gone from pyramid builders to project dwellers.
And so, we're not on that Afro shit, but it's showing you Esau has instilled a mindset of terror upon Jake, right? Through doing these things that, here it is, the other woman, she's trying to argue with her. This is not your kingdom. This is not your rest. Are you surprised they're sending in the National Guard to quail you niggas? Are you surprised that the FBI are raiding you niggas? Should you be surprised when they destroy one of your cities? No. Every single step of the way, these people have shown us that they are against us. This, man, let me get that scripture real quick. I don't know what else you got to say to a nigga, Latino, Native American. This is not our rest. They've shown us every step of the way. You niggas have tried to get comfortable in Babylon. Micah 2 and 10, excuse me. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. In no land of captivity will we ever have peace and prosperity. There's been complete psychological and literal physical programs and systems set up to break you down. You niggas are still trusting in Egypt. You still trusting in Babylon. And it's going to be to your death. Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So many of our people, despite all these wicked atrocities that have happened to us, they still want to wear the jacket of the oppressor and cry out to him, be like him, join his system. And all he's going to do is kill you. In the end of it all, you're going to cry out to him, he's going to show up, and he's going to kill you. Verse 2, that walk down into Egypt, and we know Egypt today represents the land of our bondage, America, because in the ancient world, our people would literally run to Egypt, right? You read in Jeremiah, we ran to Egypt to try to be saved from Nebuchadnezzar's persecution. Well, in today's time, our people trust in the American government, and what does it avail to? Nothing. More pain and suffering. It says, I walked down into Egypt, and have not asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Every time our people trust in this place, what happens? Death and destruction upon them. They set up laws. They shake you down. It has never gone well for us here in Babylon. What are you niggas still believing in? Wake up. Yes, everything you were taught when you were younger was a lie. So coming back here, Jake, man, Jake is so fucking. Where was that clip at? Oh, here we go.
But when our genetic impact of terror on the brain of that
operate with
that we would
anyone
carry
that
that
they
into the
enslave.
future.
What we have to do today is understand that we have gone from pyramid builders to project dwellers. And we have to look at our condition in America and ask ourselves, are we really all that we claim to be, and are we that which we should be? And if our actions would be approved by our enemy, if our actions would be sanctioned and condoned by our enemy, then we have to seriously question ourselves of whether we are really fulfilling our duty to the community, or are we acting as a slave. Most of our problems stem from the Black Holocaust in slavery, the drugs, the homosexuality, the immorality. The problems that we have today were created here in America. God made the black man and the black woman, and the white man made.
Now, we know, we're the Israelites, so we're not on that Africa bullshit. And America isn't the start of our problems, but it's just one of the big ones. We've sinned as a people, so the Heavenly Father has allowed these heathen to get over us. But essentially, are you doing things that serve Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, or are you doing things that benefit the enemy? And the majority of people do things that benefit their oppressor, willingly. Some ignorantly, and some knowingly.
Niggas.
Ain't that interesting?
The Heavenly Father made the Israelites, but the America made niggas. Let me take that back.
Drugs, the homosexuality, the immorality. The problems that we have today were created here in America. God made the black man and the black woman, and the white man made niggas.
The white man made niggas. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about, Jake? What are we talking about? This place here. Oh, this is a good one. White patients versus black patients. Medical racism and medical documentation. What did the first one say? White patients reluctant. Black patients resistant. White patient reports. Black patient claims. Yeah. Requesting. Demanding. Yep, that's how we're treated. You show up to get some help, and you're treated like a bad guy. They show up to get some help, and they get much of it. What more do you niggas need to see that this place is against you utterly? What more do you need to see? Yeah, these people. I got a couple more too. This place, man. This place, boy. You niggas, boy. Just look at this shit. Let me just let y'all see this. And this what you Jake is here doing in Babylon. Drinking that jug juice. Little GMO babies, man. Yeah, they're gonna get scorched. No, I don't feel nothing for them. They're gonna get scorched because they acting just like they fat ass fucking mama. Big old fucking black whale. So this is all Jake want to do. Niggas want to be free in America so they can act a fool. That's why the Lord is destroying all this shit, man. The Lord is destroying all this shit. So this is both parties to be blamed. Niggas and Edom. God damn it. Let me take a look at this.
Past the workers of chasing our history. You are inside of a slave breeding house. You're inside of a slave breeding house. I promise you when I tell you this, there are spirits in this place, and you can feel them real heavy. There's a heavy presence of another presence that is not me. and you can clearly feel it. Look at this. They could be as young as 13 years old to lay on this bed, and slaves would sleep with them and produce children. Overseers would sleep with them. The master himself could be sleeping with them. This is a house of horror. This is a house of horror. Everything is original. Look at the stove.
And America itself is a house of horror for the tribes.
Look at the chimney. Look how old it is. You can feel the presence of other entity in here. I've been on enough plantations to know when there's something else in these houses. And clearly, something's in here. There's an unrest in here. Rape happened here. Incest happened here. Molestation happened here. Right here in this slave house. They were breeding them. A 13-year-old could literally, or 12, could literally be laying right here, producing children, up to 30 of them at one time. Look at it. You're at the Magnolia Plantation where they were breeding slaves. I'm Pastor Wilkinson, chasing our history.
So I'm assuming this is Magnolia out of Louisiana. A little slave breeding house, y'all. So what are we talking about? You know, what are we talking about? These people mistreat you. They think nothing of you, and you niggas are still trying to be something here. What the fuck are we talking about? You've been stripped of power. You've been destroyed. You've been beaten. You've been burned. Are you still going to continue to trust in this place? Right? The American dream is just that. A dream, nigga. Another one.
See about the slavery.
Do you realize that only less than 2% of white Americans own slaves?
But it was. So there you go, quoting them outlandish statistics. Right? This is what they believe. Jillian Michaels, her ass used to help you motherfuckers get in shape. And come to find out, she's a whole white supremacist. They're all devils.
System of white supremacy.
Do you realize that slavery is thousands of...
CNN talking about the slavery.
Do you realize that only less than 2% of white Americans own slaves?
But it was a system of white supremacy.
Do you realize that slavery is thousands of years old?
And Abby adopted a black child.
But what was her point? Trying to minimize, like...
Well, she's on Abby's show where they always argue on there. What are you doing?
They still not talking about the white people who was saving up to own a nigga they couldn't afford. And like, God damn it, this nigga.
So, you know, they making a joke out of it, but right there, you know, she got caught slipping, talking about basically saying slavery wasn't that bad, stop complaining type deal, right? That, and you have Trump rolling around, hitting up the Smithsonian museums. These people they're telling you to their face that they hate you. This country has shown you every step of the way that it does not like you. It wants to get rid of you and destroy you. What are we doing, Jacob? What are we doing here? They're showing you every step of the way that this is not your land, this is not your country.
CNN.
They don't like you. And what are you niggas still trying to do? You trying to succeed and overachieve. Oh, you know what? I can end on this and I'll get some scriptures after, but...
Back to the funeral home, about 3 blocks away, an odor met me that nearly knocked me out. I said, what on earth in the world is that? It was Emmett's body. That's how the smell was so strong until it covered a 2 or 3 block area. My father was on one side of me, and Rayfield Moody was on the other side of me, and Jean was at my back. And I shrugged them. I said, turn me loose. I've got a job to do, and I don't have time to be fainting now. I saw his tongue had been choked out, and it was lying down on his chin. I saw that this eye was out, and it was lying about midway the cheek. I looked at this eye, and it was gone. I looked at the bridge of his nose, and it looked like someone had taken a meat chopper and chopped it. And I looked at his teeth, because I took so much pride in his teeth. His teeth were the prettiest things I'd ever seen in my life, I thought. And I only saw two. Where are the rest of them? They'd just been knocked out. And I was looking at his ears. His ears were like mine. They curled. They're not attached, and they curled up. The same way mine are. And I didn't see the ear. Where's the ear? And that's when I discovered a hole about here, and I could see daylight on the other side. I said, now, was it necessary to shoot it? If that's a bullet hole, was that necessary? And I also discovered that they had taken an axe and they had gone straight down across his head, and the face and
History has never.
They tore that boy to fucking pieces, y'all. And his mama, Miss Tills, that was a strong woman. You know the story. She stood up and protested and fought that shit as hard as she could. Most women ain't built like that, y'all. So this is the history of this country. It's never been good to us. It's never been accepting of us. It's never been equality here. That shit's a joke. And the sooner you niggas realize it, you might get somewhere. You've run to the enemy, and the enemy's done nothing but fucking devour you. So I'm gonna actually end it. What is this? Jeremiah 9. I'm gonna end it with this one. Yep. Our people, you don't want to separate yourselves from the enemy. You want to still, run around with them and believe you have a chance in this system when they've shown you nothing but hate. You're gonna get destroyed with Edom. That's what's gonna happen. All right, Jeremiah 9:25, it says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will punish all them that are circumcised with the uncircumcised." So the circumcised represents us, the Israelites. We made a covenant with the Heavenly Father by way of Abraham through circumcision. Literally, the uncircumcised being the heathen. Not only are they uncircumcised in their body, but also in their mind and their spirit. And you are wicked people, despite all these clips played. What's a nigga still going to do? Well, you got to believe in something. Well, and this place is showing you nothing but hate. The only thing you should believe in is an ass whooping that they will give you. So what's going to happen to you? Verse 26, Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness, for all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in their heart. So since you niggas want to be heathens and act like it, you're going to be punished and judged with them. This world has shown you every single step that it is against you. And what do? Still love it. Make a covenant with death, and it will be disannulled. So that's it, y'all. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rchakorash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim wa Akwath, learning and teaching of truth and sincerity. Shalom.